Warning, disaster incoming.
What's up, everyone? My name is Daniel. You know me, Alliance Disaster Hand, and today is another episode of Budget Beginnings, where I take the most recent Universus product and give them a $15 upgrade. With Heroes of Exandria's release, it comes with two starter decks, and today we're going to go over Percival Pepperbox Sharpshooter. Percy's list has the names of some of UVS's biggest characters, and it is ready to show them what he means when he says no mercy. If you like this deck, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the future. But for now, let's get into the deck. Alright, so let's go into the character a little bit before we actually start talking about the deck. So, just a heads up, these are starter decks. These are meant for newer players, so these characters are not at the same level as like maybe a challenger deck would be, or any characters within the main sets of the game. So, as you can see, this is a 22 health 6-hander. That's because he's supposed to be there to learn the game. But this Budget Beginnings is about using pre-constructed items, so I'm going to use the deck regardless of what level it's meant to be and do the best I can with it. So 622, his enhance is actually pretty cool. Being able to remove a card for cost to give something +1 or -1 speed, I think that's a really neat ability. In the span of the actual game, we do have a thing like Combined Firepower, and him on face does do it, similar to the Percival in the actual main set. So this can be a Firepower character. Obviously, as you can see the deck, I don't have Firepower in here because that card is too expensive for this kind of deck. But that's something to think about if you wanted to build something with this character for some reason. You can do something with Combined Firepower. Alright, so let's go into the deck. I did go with a weapons focused idea because just Draw Your Swords is a really good card. Has a good deadlock. Has really good enhance. Your Tinker's Touch works with weapons. Most of your weapons are also techs. So like Alchemist, Satchel Toss, Bang Bang, Punch Beam, Tinker Shot. These are all just really good. Like these are all solid cards that work together. So we just went with this weapons focus. The cards that I put in, again, these are just my considerations. You can change this however you feel like. A two learn technique, just a little bit more speed hate for my opponent's side. This also is a powerful 3 move, so if you have momentum, this card can do in the game. You can make this a 5 high for whatever with your character. Venom Dagger, this is just a really good card. Giving damage to your next thing basically says that you're doubling down on another attack because this card starts at 3. You're going to give your next attack 3, but you can do stuff like Knots Flask or Draw Your Swords or Learn Your Heart and give it 2 damage, or give it powerful with Tinker's Touch, or I'm trying out making preparations. We'll get that more in a little bit, but this gives 3 damage. So you can make this kind of big, and then if it hits, the next move is going to do that much damage as well, on top of what it's already doing. So this is just a really good weapon. This is a card that's in the deck, Alchemist Satchel Toss. It was at 3, I put it 4. This card's just really good. I think this is a really good 4 diff, just in general. Powerful 2, that says if it's blocked, the commit foundations. On a 2 low block, I think it's just a solid card. So yeah, so like we want to play 4 of that. And it's a tech, so you can stack it with weapons that are ready. 3 Bang Bang. Just another solid 4 diff. If you played another attack, this card's a 4-0 for 6, which is pretty good stats for a 4 diff. It's a 2 high block, which is, average. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but the big thing about this card is that it's a 4 diff weapon that's also a tech, so it's something that we can grab off a weapon ready to put on top of our deck to draw it. Punish's Beam. This is probably one of the better tech moves. As you see, it's not a weapon, so it doesn't work with Draw Your Swords, which is okay. This really should be a weapon, though. This thing it's a gun. So in my opinion, it should be a weapon. But it is a tech, so you can stack this weapon ready as well. It has Breaker 1, so it's good on the block. And then it does have Mill 3, add 1 range or weapon card to it. So while it can't add itself, it can add the rest of your lineup. So it is kind of like if you say the weapon, it's a conditional draw, extra card in your hand, which is pretty good. Your character's going to make this a 5 high for 5. You can give it other stats based off of whatever you have on the board. So yeah. And then Tinker Shot. This is the other cards in the deck. I can't remember if this was a 3 or 4 of. I think it was a 4 of. But the cleanest card for his deck. So it's a 5 for 5, which is solid. It's not like terrible stats. It's a 1 high block, which means it's a really good block. But the reason why this card's really good is because it says when it's removed, your attack gets +1/+1. So you're now giving your stuff +2/+1 with your character, which is just really good. The blitz doesn't really matter because you're not playing anything to really make that go crazy unless you have another Tinker Shot in your discard. But yeah, it's here for the 1/1, and then it could be a 5 high for 5 if you just see the card. 1 non-slash, this card is unique now, so we're just going to play the 1 of. It's still a good card, even at 1. Damage reduction still pretty good. Your character does definitely care about damage reduction because it's a 22 health, so he will be defending his health very, very much. Showdown is a good block. We really want to take advantage of the fact that your character gives -1 speed on your opponent's turn as well. So we want to have like these good blocks, which is why like Learn Technique is in here. Punisher Beam's a good block. And then Showdown, this is just, commit 2 of their cards. You could go 2 of their cards on the turn to play Alchemist Satchel Toss, potentially making them commit 4 over the course of the 2 turns. Then you still have stuff like Tinkering's Touch, which can give stuff stun 1. So, yeah. And then also being able to cancel the ability of an action card. If you're playing a lot into an attack and they go run away or something like that, you can commit 2 foundations to cancel that card. And the potential to stopping and hurting them. Just a solid card. Onto the foundations. 4 Foresight. It's probably the best 0 in death that you can play realistically. Botan's Coaching is too expensive for this kind of deck. And the other one would be the Bakugo 0 diff, which is fine. But this one lets you see the top card of your deck, has a move ability for itself. And then it's also a low, which we needed lows anyway. We're at 20. So yeah, and then also Critical Role didn't come with zeros, so this is like the deck naturally did not have a 0 diff in it. I wanted to include a 0 diff because those are just gonna help your turn 1 builds more. 2 Arrogant Fighter. If you draw your swords on the board, destroy it, get to seal foundations, pretty good. Mill 1 is somewhat relevant because you can mill Tinker Shot on your turn and use it for Percival's ability, which can be cool. Or that's basically it. Unless your opponent's stacking your stuff with you, milling that one might be relevant. But it's mostly here because if you pop it, it can seal something, and that's nice. And it's a 2-low block. Terror Ring. I love this card. This is you could play the Taguro Foundation that draws 1 if you both have 6 if you wanted to. But this card lets you declare a card type to reveal the top card of your deck and then add it to hand if it matches. So with weapons that are ready, you can basically say you're going to add a card attack to the hand. But also, if you're wanting to make sure that your checks are going well, you could name attack and then if flip foundation, know that you're going to check a 5. And then you could play your next attack knowing that you're going to check a 5. And this also says card type, so you can have, if you are the craziest person ever and you have Showdown on top of your deck, you can Terror Ring, call for an action, and maybe get the Showdown, which is pretty funny. Prison Noble, this is the speed hate that came in the deck. I don't know how often you're going to get to 15 or more removed in this character, considering you remove once per on your character. But -2 speed's still fun, and it came with the deck. Weapons Array is a crazy card. Being able to stack a tech card to your deck is pretty good. Stacking itself, like another copy of it, or Science Bros or Tinker's Touch for the 5 check is pretty good. And then you have Punisher's Beam, Tinker Shot, Bang Bang, Alchemist Satchel Toss. These are also good techs you can put on top of the deck. Alchemist Satchel Toss can be a powerful you can add on top of your deck to then draw it with like terror eating, and then say, hey, I'm gonna play this powerful next, or you stack it with weapons ready, then use Punisher's Beam and add it to hand. So multiple ways of getting that card on top of your deck. So it has a lot of synergy. It also removes 3, so it's gonna help you get to this 15 more if you need the -3 speed. Collecting components also in the deck. Sacrifice for 2 speed on Tenacious card is just good. We used to have a card similar to this. It's called Shock Absorption. Actually, I think it's exactly like this. I think it's all the same stats. Maybe it was a 3 mid. But yeah, Tenacious Sacrifice for 2 speed is pretty good. You know, you could use it to block. You commit it to block another attack, and then it's still useful as a committed card. We like those. Looking to Harden's also more speed hate, and it also can give you a little bit more damage. The other reason why this card's nice is because you have to all swords on the board. Draw your swords on the board. Sorry. It does have a death response of after this card's destroyed, you draw one. So again, you do stuff with weapons that are ready, stack a card, blow this up and draw your swords, and then draw that card. But you know, just drawing a random card's nice. Getting more to your hand size is always good. And then, as we've been talking about, draw your swords. This card's just great. Making preparations. I put this card in the deck because of stuff like Venom Dagger, where I felt like there wasn't enough damage in the deck already, and with us not being able to play Combined Firepower, which is usually Death's like big damage pump thing, and then also I Am With You, which synergizes with Combined Firepower. I had to think of a different way to get damage consistently, and commit for 3 damage. It not being a flip cost is pretty good. Getting attack is a speed bonus. Your character's always going to be giving speed bonuses, so it just works with your character. And you know, making a Venom Dagger a 4 low for 6 that's going to say, hey, if it deals damage, the next attack's going to get 6 damage is pretty good. Tinker's Touch, I have 2 of. I can see you going up on this card. This card is pretty good. Flip, remove 1 card from your discard pile. If your tech or weapon attack gains EX2 powerful 3 or stun 1, give something stun. Or if you're trying to end the game, give something EX or powerful. I could see you playing more of this card over something like, maybe you want to go down Imprison Noble, but like it, or maybe you don't want to play Showdown. You want to just play more Foundations. You could play more Tinker's Touch. It was hard to play more of this card because it's a high block, and we don't really have a lot of those in our Foundation lineup outside of Prison Noble and Terror Eating, and this card's too good to get rid of. And this is like Speed Hate, which we're playing decent Speed Hate outside of that, so maybe this card is not as necessary. So I could see you going down on some of these to play more Tinker's Touch, just because this card is very good. And last but not least is Science Bros. So this card's a 2-of because it comes a 2-of in the deck. This is like a $4 rare, and it's pretty much deserved. It's unique. And it's just really good. After you remove a card, one or more cards, your attack gets +1/+1. So just naturally, with your character with it on board, your character, your attack's getting +2/+1. And then we have things like Weapon of the Ready, which is going to remove you a card. Tinker's Touch, which can remove you a card. Foresight can remove itself for 1/1. And so yeah, like you have plenty of ways to make stuff remove themselves to then give more stats. Again, if this was a Combined Firepower deck, this card's like one of the big things about Combined Firepower right now, because of things like I'm With You and Lost in Consciousness. When you mill those cards, remove them, get more stats with Science Bros, and that's just pretty good. So yeah, but this is only a 2-of because it's only a 2-of in the deck, and it's a $4 card, so I couldn't fit it into the deck with the price limit. But yeah, that's it. There's not a lot or much to say about this. Again, this is a starter deck character, so this isn't a character that you're gonna like put a whole lot of time to. These are just some little upgrades to make that deck maybe slightly a little better. But the biggest upgrade I could say is just play the main deck Percival, or the main set Percival. The 7-hander, he's pretty good. He does care about attacks a lot, so you want to make sure you're playing a lot of attacks, which we are already. So you could just take Percival out of the main set and put this in here, and that could just work out just as well. But yeah, with that, that's everything. I hope you guys liked the video. Next will be Beauregard. But for now, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like the deck, just let me know. And I hope to see you guys again. But for now, that'll be it. Later.